How? Welcome to my tube. My name's Margie. I'm a Hale empath, and I just like having these little talks and the way I feel about things. And it's been a rough day for me. I don't know about anybody else, but I don't know. This eclipse is in Cancer, 0 degrees. I got Cancer in my first and second house. I got a lot of water. I got mostly water and air in my chart. So I'm just along for the ride, really. Trying not to get on that angry vibe, man. I'm triggered a lot. It's around me everywhere. Thought the assholes were gone, and it was just asshole seniors that came in for a week, come to find out. I feel people's vibes, and mostly people just don't feel good, you know? People call us Aspies and shit. Asperger, I don't know, they just keep changing the words. It's just like, dude, we just fucking feel people. We just feel your vibes, man. We just know what people actually are and aren't. That's all we do. People fuss more with us because they know that we know their shit. That we know that they're fucking full of shit. We just won't bother with them because they're disingenuous and they aren't who they say they are. More and more people are picking it up, yeah. I've been watching a lot of old interviews, like in the 70s and stuff, of these misogynistic freaking patriarchal freaking hogs, Some of them, not all of them. Not Richard. Richard Pryor had his demons, His demons were just like my demons. We're the same demons. He just manifested in different ways. But I saw a pretty good one with him the other day. And then I watched one today. I got triggered. It was with freaking Hugh Hefner. Yeah, he was. A couple of feminists went on the Dick Cavett show. Dick Cavett, he's dry, sarcastic, small man. Good with words. I don't know. Interviewed a lot of people. Had a radio show, talk show, whatever. And he had a couple of feminists on. I can't remember, Susan Price, I think, and I can't remember the other guy. Maybe. Anyway, that's a ant hole I should go down. Look more into that. Anyway, and that's the stuff. That's what I found out in this incarnation, is all the stuff I hate in men like Hugh Hefner are the parts of myself that I can't stand. It's all ego. It has nothing to do with gender, folks. Nothing to do with gender. It's all high. If you want to think of it in terms of light, blue and red, positive, negative, polarity, love, greed, love, absence of love, light, absence of light. If you want to look at it in scientific terms, and people put this on men and women and women and men, and it's like, no wonder, no wonder people want to switch, identities. They don't like the stuff and that they see in other people, so they want to be something else. My belief system is a lot of the ideology and desire to transition is your attachment to your previous incarnation. And it's okay. It's okay to let that attachment go. I had it for a while, for the first few years, 12, but and then universe kept giving me lessons. No, you're all female. I'm going to remind you what it's like to be a woman. I never gave birth to a child, but I've had a lot of other things that hurt a lot, and evidently that's and that's not something I don't even want to consider. Nope. I never wanted to be pregnant, never wanted. And you know what? I know a lot of men that have always wanted to be pregnant. That's because they have that red, the feminine energy in them, So people, they're just more feminine, masculine energy sometimes, and more and more people are figuring it out. And what we want to happen is for people to become energetically androgynous, just so they're balanced. Just so they're balanced in their energy. It don't matter what you look like. This is our avatar, yeah. This is our soul sag. People dress it up to mostly to freaking try to convince people the opposite of how they feel. Because the more people put, crappy crap on their face and, inject shit into them and freaking, sacrifice animals and kids to make themselves look younger. And people will go to any lengths to hang on to an idea of what they once were. And the reality of it is they were never that to begin with. So, let's see. What else was I going to talk about today? I was going to talk about a synchronicity. I saw the trailer to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure 3. I'm so excited about that. That's pretty freaking cool. Oh, that's what the synchronicity was. I like 21 Pilots, the band. I talked in a talk yesterday or the day before. I was talking about some chick I knew from Ohio. It's the only person I knew from Ohio, and I didn't like her very much. But on the not at all, just because I had that bad experience with hers, I don't automatically assume everything from Ohio is bad. And years later, this band 21 Pilots came out. You know what 21 Pilots means? And I freaking swear their algorithm, they really are trying to dumb people down, because you can't look at history stuff, and that's alright. I think people need to go back into the history books and get into the books anyway. Because the 21 Pilots story is actually, that's what they used to do. Is they used to write plays and stuff based on actual life events. That's why Hollywood and movies and all that stuff started as. Is like to give people a fictitious account of actual events. To plant seeds. It's always been laid right out there in front of you, So if you look at the story of what 21 Pilots actually is an account of, it's a story basically in the shell of a nut. I'll let you go down that ant hole yourself. But what I found is it was a bunch of contractors made faulty parts, and everybody tried to cover it up, but it's all about money, because, war and profits is always about money. It's never about people and people's safety and security. It's always about tangible things, 3D things, egoic things, because that's what egomaniacs feed off of, is things of the earth that are tangible, so they made all these faulty parts, and as a result 21 pilots lost their lives in these aircrafts, because people have to make money. And that's like, the clown running the show now, I believe, is Heyoka. He's just what happens when you go more into your ego, and less from your spirit. And he could always plot twist it up too, but I don't like the stuff he's doing. It's not helping the trans kids. It's not helping trans people. It's not. We're all just people. We're all just shades of the same color wheel. It really matters where you're, and that's the ideologies that I'm trying to change and get people to think of is, stop. I ain't never looked at people's gender. I never saw people. Can't tell if people are gay or straight. I just am attracted to people and I like them, and most of them and all of them have mostly been female. Not to say that I ain't never seen a man that I found that I thought was attractive. There's plenty of them out there. A lot of them passed away. There's one guy, man, John Eric Hexum. Look him up, ladies. Whew. I think he was a good-looking guy. I don't know. He had a really deep voice, and he was screwing around on set. And that was a sad day. I was like, what? He died? That was a hard time for me in life anyway. So 21 Pilots, and look what Foo Fighters means. But they said, but when you Google or look into a search engine, GoDuckGo or whatever you want to look at, and you put in 21 Pilots, the history of 21 Pilots, it tells you the history of the band. You actually got to do a little digging about the play. It's called All My Sons, the play, if you want to look it up. It's was written in 1964 by Arthur Miller. So there's there's a lot too looking in the history of things, you know. In history, we get these tellings, these knowings, because, you know, to let us know, not to remind us to freaking go the same way, and ultimately it always ends in a crash of a civilization. And what we're witnessing is yet another crash of a civilization because the egos made it unsustainable. You know, it doesn't make sense for people that pay themselves $20,000 a month to tell people they are not deserving of 1,200. You know. And I think of all the, you know, of all the money wasted, and I do report after report after report of how, go to the city pages, go to the .gov pages, make them show their work, make them say, you know, show the receipts if these projects cost the millions and millions. And you know, that's the thing, is the egos get out of control. Rich people don't have the best ideas. They really don't. I mean, it started years ago when they started taking art programs and music programs out, right? So basically, rich people, you have these people that have these lines of freaking money, income, and they pass it generation to generation. But they're just always told yes because they have money. Yes, you're a smart boy or girl. Yes, you have brilliant ideas. Yes, you can do anything you want to do. And so when they're told yes all the times, their egos are just out of control. All ego is the I am part of you. But we're mind, body, and spirit. So if that I am part of you supersedes your mind and your spirit, then you're all ego, and that's when you're fucked. That's when people are doing kids and stuff like that, because they don't have the discipline and the self-control to not do that, because mommy and daddy and all the powers that be told them how wonderful they are, and they just advanced in life because of who they are and who they're related to, of nothing of their own merit that's ever been done. They all go to the same schools, and they all end up in the same communities. And it's just like a rotation. It's just like turnover in companies. You know, you have the same people vibe and frequency. And I gotta get out of the city, because I ain't no city girl no more. I didn't figure out this whole energy part of it until since I moved to Salem on the 45th parallel, and this is not comfortable for me. I need to go live someplace on a hill, nice and quiet, where I don't have to feel other people's lives at all. Huh, Stanley? Yep. I can just live my own life and wake up and go walk the fence line and take pictures, you know, whatever I see. Because cooperation is nature's way. And like this morning, man, it was so weird. I don't get sick. I feel like I get like low vibrational attacks, you know? Like, sometimes people wish you ill will. I kind of feel like that's what you know, like when people piss me off before, what I used to do is I'd wish them, like when they were on their way to the bathroom and they're half asleep in the middle of the night, I wish that they freaking jam their toe. That's what I would wish on them. You know, not enough to tear off the nail or anything, but just enough to freaking take you from just you know. That's what that's as mean as I get. That's as spiteful as I get, because I know about karma, and you wish worse, you know. And I've still have plenty of toes. Anyway, so I woke up this morning and my stomach just was turning. You know, and I'm like trying to look at the biology, and I'm like, I didn't sleep weird because I got compression in my T9, 10, 11 vertebrae, and sometimes it bites for space in there with my intestine, and things get like, I can't eat meat anymore because of it. And I had my appendix out. I remember hearing somebody, I think it was on Grey's Anatomy, saying that there was like scar tissue in there that makes it more sensitive. So I'm just trying not to be on a liquid diet because I love food, but anyway, it's not worth the pain, you know. So I wake up this morning, and I had a headache last night so bad, I talked about it in my talk, and I had a lot of pressure in my eyes, and I just know the energy is off the hook because I'm feeling all the stress of freaking everybody in freaking Sally, Oregon, and all the way across the 45th parallel. You know, that's what everybody does. That's why everybody's, you know, with my consult, my close to my alignments or opposite of mine, we're probably feeling pretty run down. And if you notice, the pockets of weather are reflecting how people are feeling. Because here, people are all in Oregon, it's like 55 degrees. It feels like fall. It's all rainy, overcast, crappy, run down. But like 400 miles south, there, you know, it's fire warnings, you know, heated temper flare flash warning, you know, anger. It's that they're on the 40th parallel. So it's just like energy travels in frequency, man. And more people fucking start you know, meditate, chill yourself down, and then things de-escalate. But no, take a pill, fucking drink a beer, then beat your wife, and then feel bad, and then keep that vibe down lower, perpetuate. So I woke up this morning and my stomach was turning, and I knew it last night. I'm like, this is the kind of thing that's like, will easily be remedied with a good chook. All I gotta do is throw up and I'll be fine. But it's just like, and then it happened this morning, and I opened the door and I was like, because I was so shaky, like I felt like I was hungover, like I got hit by a truck, but it was nothing. It was weird, because I've been eating like freaking asparagus and zucchini for dinner and stuff, you know. I did eat some mixed nuts. That could have been it. Anyway, I may have a peanut allergy. Who knows? No. Peanut allergy, whatever. So I opened the door and I'm all wobbly and shaky. And across the street, I see there, because there's always nature near me. That's my saving grace of where I live. With all the chaos and turmoil around me, there's always nature. Just like this, when I'm like freaking feel like shit and everything, I open the door and there's a mom and the most babyest deers I've ever seen. Like these, like could have been born like earlier. They were this big. They were like 18 inches. I was like, I'm sorry, I come in peace, and I was trying to keep my energy field down so she wouldn't be scared and her babies be scared. So that was not easy for me to do because I was going outside to get sick. So I just I come in peace, and then waved her on. And I'm like, it's okay, come on, because she was at the street to cross the street. And I waved her on, and she and the babies came across the way, and I was like, that was the most beautiful part about being sick. You know, it's like even in sickness, I get the beautiful things, you know. So that's what people need to remember. If you're in a bad situation, it's not all bad. Look at the lessons. Look at the reasons why you think you're in this situation. If you're uncomfortable, you need to be someplace else. That's what I know. I know I'm uncomfortable. I know I need to be someplace else. I also know the astrology and how things are lining up, and I have to be patient because it's not going to do me or mom or my dogs or cat or mom stuff any good to jump because I'm feeling froggy, to end up in a worse situation. So, because at least here I got the creek and I got the stream and I got the nature, and that is my saving grace right in my backyard, you know. And people need to look for their saving grace, and I got to meditate about an hour, 15 minutes today. And after I threw up, I was fine. After I knew I was fine. I mean, it was nothing came up. It's energy. It's all energy, and I know that is my sacral chakra stuff, and that's why I did a meditation today, deliberately focusing on my chakras. So, I feel, you know, aside from the spawn of frickin' Satan, who I thought was done, no, their parents just moved in for a week because they're buying a new place in escrow, and oh my god. They have a dog they just lock up in the backyard because it's just a dog. I don't like people that think that way. So, tells me. Anyway, the psychopaths are really stepping out in their true power right now. They're really nutting up. They're really freaking getting crazy, you know. It's the imbalance. It's whatever energy that they try to avoid. So if you're like, you know, if you're like me, you know, 10 years ago before I figured a lot of this shit out, and I was in my masculine energy, and I denied the feminine because all I saw was weak, because I just saw Mom get her ass kicked time and time again, and she just kept getting in their face, and she would just get after him and get after him, and it's like at one point I was like, shit, Mom, I would hit you too. You just, you don't stop, and people have their breaking point. And some people exist to get people, to show people that they have a breaking point, because people think they don't. They think they run their own show. They think that they're just running their own show. That they are the captain of my own ship. And we are freaking strings on planetary strings. And if you start looking, look at the Greek mythology. Go back and look at Greek mythology and look in Wikipedia where the Greek gods are representations of the planets in the sky. And then look at your story, your astrology, and where your planets sit related to other people in your family's astrology and where their planets sit. And you will see the stories of Zeus, Pathos, Athena, all playing out in our own lives every day. It's a fucking trip, y'all. Yeah. I can't hear the TV. Mom watches Longmire. She just loves Longmire. I've been watching Longmire too, because I used to hate it, because I hate the freaking the storyline with the chick cop with daddy issues, because those women make my third eye twitch. Anyway, I hate that storyline, so it's, it's discouraged me from watching it, but she watches it so much I can't help but to get all the storylines. And I learned a lot about stuff. I learned a lot about stuff about Heyoka, It was like, because that's when she first started watching it, when I was learning, 3 years ago when I found out about it. So it was like, very synchronistic a lot of times. I like a lot of, they have a lot of songs that I have on my playlist, and they have a few songs that I've added to my playlist because of. And so they talk about, and a lot of storylines they talk about is true, man. The government does it. The government goes in, decides who is unfit. Yeah, there's plenty of people that should, under stress, and that probably shouldn't have kids and things like that. Right. But there's plenty of those people that are in the high tax brackets too. And people think Anderson Cooper is all such a good guy. No. Go look back at his whole history. Look at the pictures on the wall. Yeah, there's freaking child sacrifices on his mom's wall with his little brother. It's freaking, there's talks. I don't know if this stuff is true or not. People just talk about stuff, but there's talks about how his brother suicide was a freaking child sacrifice, so. You think, and he just had a baby. He just made a baby happen. Because if you have enough money, you can do anything. You got enough money. You don't have to have credentials. You just have to have money. I've been watching that Epstein show, that thing on, I watch all kinds of stuff, man. I watch stuff I like. I watch stuff I can't, because I don't like watching that Epstein stuff, but I read people and I study. And when they're freaking, walking through their house and stuff like that, I'm looking at all the furniture in the background. I'm like, oh, yeah, I've seen that in people's houses before. Oh, yeah, I know. And you think about, but because people hide in plain sight. Look at DC. Look at all the astrology that is lining up right now is very, very similar to the astrology that Saturn Pluto conjuncts, back in freaking 1599, not revolutionary, but the beginning of things, so it's not going back to the Declaration, it's going back to when the land was free. There were no borders, where they have rules in some states for a virus, but it doesn't jump borders. I mean, you have unimaginative people that have gotten in positions because of they paid people off, and people like me who should be in positions of guidance. I don't want to be a freaking authority of anybody. I don't want to tell nobody what to. I don't even tell my dogs what to do. I have potty pads all over my living room because they're all rescues, and I don't even have the heart to get mad at them anymore when they freaking pee in the corner. So I just made a place where they can pee, and I just offer them to invite them out every hour, hour and a half to pick, you know. When it rains, Benny only goes out 2 times. He doesn't like getting his little precious little toes wet. Benny. I don't blame it. And somebody dumped him off, and he didn't have anything to eat for a whole week. He's a good dog. He didn't, you know, he's just lovey, and, you know, people don't understand why how people can do that, and I don't understand people. It's because people like that are all ego. They're psychopaths. They're narcissists. They're void of spirit, and you know who they are. Don't get mad at me for saying it. You know who they are. Be mad at you for knowing them. You know, in the chain of command. If you have, you know, it's all bullshit. It's all anybody who makes up rules. They don't follow the rules. They just make them up. You understand? Anyway, I don't think this talk really went how I was thinking it was going to go, but they never really do. I just kind of channel, you know. Sometimes I'll think about something, a synchronicity, and I'll go down that ant hill, that ant hole. Because, folks, ant holes are far more complicated. And if you think in terms, oh, that's what I was thinking about in rabbit hole. A rabbit hole is just a hole. So you ain't going down no place in a rabbit hole. So every time going down the rabbit hole, yeah, you're sunk, ding dong. You're sunk. You're getting to one place. Go down an ant hole. There's far more crevices and nooks and crannies and turns and stuff. An ant hole is just one ideology, and you see it, you believe it. There's so far many more. But when I was talking earlier about that interview I saw with old Hugh Hef, the freaking White Rabbit man himself, and all the perversion, and what started it was an interview I saw with Snoop Dogg, and somebody slipped him a roofie, and he ended up banging some girls in the grotto, and I'm just like, huh. Kind of goes with the storyline. I bet there's some footage someplace, because that's what they all did. They all freaking had these parties, you know, and let people let their egos take over and do things that they wouldn't ordinarily do, you know, under the influence. I wasn't myself. Well, you did the things that made you not yourself, so it was free will. So, you know, and so I hope those girls weren't like 12 or something, you know. There's probably footage somewhere of him doing that, you know. And he didn't care, because he's a man. He's just... It's all about girth and, you know, brutality and spreading your seed and where's the spirit in that? So, but yeah, I have the same birthday as Hugh Hefner, born on the same day. And if you, there's ways that you can look at people's signs and tell what they are. I'm an Aries. You can tell by my arching in my ram-like nose. And if you look at other Aries, you know, and other people your sign, there's face shapes. People tell us who they are. You know, and so at first, you know, for a long time, I like, oh, Hugh Hefner is so cool, pretty, you know, and then, you know, once I came more into my spirit, I started recognizing, you know, and you don't treat women as objects. Treat women as freaking gems, man. You take care of them. You don't. You take care of them. That's all that I can say about that. I'm just getting flooded right now. And so for anyone with the ideology that, you know, and think about it, there's all this hubbub. Oh yeah, we've been able to vote for 100 years. Well, that's fucking funny, you oppressors, because women have been around for as long as you have, for millions, you know. There's always been a control system. There's always been a paradigm, and that time is through. Yeah, that time is over. You okay, Stanley? See, he don't like the neighbors either. People, check on your old people. Check on your animals. You know, they could be extra sensitive right now. Everybody's all keyed up. Everybody's feeling everybody's emotions, and a lot of times they don't know what the fuck to do with them. You know, what did I do today? I meditated an hour 20 minutes. That's how I transmute. I just said, Mother Earth, you take it. You take all this Kundalini chi energy in me, because I don't know what to do with it. And if I keep it in my container, in my soul sack, oftentimes if something happens, I get scared, goes right to anger, aggression. So I gotta stay in my balance, man, because it ain't gonna get easier. Things aren't gonna, you know, we're not gonna get to a point and then, like, you know, at the end of the movie where the sun comes up and it's a new no, folks, it's not like that, because more and more people You guys, people got to start talking about the psychology. Oh, you know, oh, you win. You know, it's like the empaths and the narcissists, the egos and the ids. You know, the dark and the light. You know, it's about all I got. That's about all I got for now. Hope you have a rad evening. Peace.